Hey Soloers, it's Player 1 here from Too Much Single Player, bringing you the 4th video of the Magic Duels Battle for Zendikar series. This week I'll be talking about the main characters of the Battle for Zendikar storyline and some of their biography while showing you the 4th duel in the 5-duel expansion. There's actually a ton of information to be found for these characters and beyond, so if you'd like more information you can check out the Gamepedia. Or if you'd like to see anything or anyone in particular, feel free to let me know in the comments or on Twitter and I'll try to make a video about it. First of all, we need to discuss the Eldrazi, as they are the major antagonists of this story, and what we fight against to regain the plane of Zendikar. They're an ancient race native to the blind eternities that have neither physical form nor color alignment. Their nature is ceaseless hunger, so they travel between planes devouring mana and life energy until the plane's destruction. All Eldrazi descend from one of the 3 Eldrazi titans, Emrakul, Ulamog, and Kozilek. The Eldrazi were introduced as a creature type in Rise of the Eldrazi and returned in Battle for Zendikar. Some of the cards were reprinted in Modern Masters 2015 and Duel Decks Zendikar vs. Eldrazi. The Eldrazi from the original set all featured the Annihilator mechanic. Though each lineage has a distinct anatomy, each of them seems to have a commonality. A proboscis located somewhere near a joint acts as a feeding tube attaching to a subject and draining them of life. Eldrazi proper and their infant spawns have no color alignment, and the mere presence of larger Eldrazi can cause reality to dissipate. However, Eldrazi drones born to serve the larger base species are often aligned, being few examples of the creatures that are colored. Eldrazi drones, while formidable, are not as powerful as their larger counterparts and do not have the Annihilator ability. The lineage of Emrakul are perhaps the most bizarre of the Eldrazi's, possessing a strange lattice-like flesh composition and being of unnatural hues, predominantly bright purples, blues, and reds. The progeny of Ulamog are characterized by having a bony mask over their heads. They also possess writhing tentacles in addition to their bisecting arms. Those born from the lineage of Kozilek have multiple eyes all over their body, curiously rarely on the head, and have large black jagged plates that float around them. Similar to the lineage of Ulamog, many possess bisecting arms and tentacles seemingly for no real purpose. They also have no discernible sensory organs, and many do not possess conventional forms. The Eldrazi have various means of consuming planes that vary among broods and situations. Ulamog and his brood leave off a white, bone, or tooth-like residue. He has also been seen blasting a plane into oblivion with searing light. Emrakul and her brood, known to leave off yellow dust and seemingly convert the landscape into flesh and bone. And Kozilek and his brood leave behind formations that closely resemble bismuth crystals. Like insects, Eldrazi are genderless, do not copulate, and evidence no awareness of the concept of gender. The question of their gender, or at least proper pronouns, is a recurring topic among players. The most recent official source on the matter are cards from Battle for Zendikar and a blog post by creative director Doug Baer, which agree on the use of male pronouns for Ulamog and Kozilek and female pronouns for Emrakul. The rest of these bios are directly from the official site at magic.wizards.com. They did a far better job fleshing them out than I would have, and the in-depth story they created for this game and the characters involved is phenomenal. Return to the wild plain of Zendikar, where the monstrous Eldrazi threaten the entire world with destruction. The plane's inhabitants and even the land itself stand united to oppose them. Our primary protagonist for this story is fiercely loyal, unyielding, just, and charismatic. Gideon doesn't hesitate to enter combat to defend the innocent. A powerful warrior mage with the ability to make himself invulnerable, he wields a 4-bladed Sorrel and Hieromancy magic against his foes. A man of the people, he takes pride in leading his comrades towards the common good. Though he's now one of the foremost warriors in the multiverse, Gideon came from humble beginnings, leading a gang of street kids struggling to make a living. Imprisoned by the local guards, he honed his leadership, self-discipline, weapon use, and hieromancy under the watchful eye of the prison warden, Hixus. His newfound strength was put to the test while defending his city, but when he tried to overstep his abilities, he unintentionally doomed the rest of his soldiers. The impact of his failure to protect his own comrades ignited his planeswalker spark, and he found himself on a new plane, able to begin atoning for his past by dedicating himself to protecting the denizens of the multiverse from planar threats. His quest for atonement has led him to the plains of Alara, Ravnica, and now Zendikar, where he's encountered powerful planeswalker allies including the telepath Jace and the pyromancer Chandra, as well as strange, otherworldly foes. The core planeswalker Nahiri was a master of the Stoneforge technique, using magic to coax exquisitely crafted weapons and tools fully formed from ordinary rock. After her ascension to planeswalker status, many knew her simply as the Lithomancer. Along with two other planeswalkers, the vampire Sorin Markov and the spirit dragon Ugin, she trapped the monstrous world-devouring Eldrazi on her homeworld of Zendikar. With her power over stone, she created the extensive network of floating stone hedrons on the plane, a vital component in the effort to contain the Eldrazi threat. For centuries, Nahiri served as Zendikar's guardian, ensuring that the Eldrazi remained in confinement and swiftly addressing any other threats that arose. Ugin the Spirit Dragon is a planeswalker, and he is ancient beyond measure. His long life has given him a unique perspective on the multiverse. He sees it as an unbroken whole and seeks to understand its deepest mysteries. He's studied the energetic patterns of entire planes, their creation, destruction, and renewal, and he's applied these universal principles to creating his own form of magic. Ugin's magic deals with the transmutation of matter into energy, and it is a power that can be wielded by all. The Eldrazi are another enigma that Ugin has dedicated his life to understanding. He has tracked and documented these great titans in an attempt to comprehend their purpose and nature, and has frowned upon any who have sought to destroy them. Working with the planeswalkers Sorin Markov and Nahiri the Lithomancer, the three trapped the Eldrazi on Zendikar. Eventually, Ugin returned to Tarkir to continue his research on his unique form of magic. Over 1,000 years ago, Ugin ran afoul of the ancient and evil dragon planeswalker Nicol Bolas. Though it is unknown why the two battled to the death, they fought each other in the skies of Tarkir. This fight would be the most important event in Tarkir's history. Bolas defeated Ugin and left the plane. As one planeswalker had been his end, another would be Ugin's salvation. The dragon shaman planeswalker Sarkhan Vol found a way to travel back in time to this pivotal event and save Ugin's life using one of the very hedrons the dragon had made on Zendikar. The dragon-worshipping planeswalker Sarkhan Vol is a native of Tarkir, where dragons had gone extinct long before his birth. Obsessed with their fury and predatory majesty, Sarkhan learned as much as he could about his world's ancient dragons, even going so far as to join a group of infamous shamans who venerated the apex predators. He had a talent for battle and gained status as a warrior in the Mardu clan, but he soon tired of the petty quarrels of the battlefield. Thereafter, Sarkhan traveled from plane to plane, looking for a dragon to whom he could dedicate his life. On Jund, a shard of the plane of Alara, he found a land ruled by tyrannical hellkites and other mighty dragons. There, he declared his fealty to the dragon planeswalker, Nicol Bolas. Disillusioned by his servitude to the villainous, conniving, woefully undragon-like Bolas, Sarkhan fell into madness. He was led back to Tarkir by a voice in his mind, a voice he believed belonged to the long-dead spirit dragon, Ugin. At the spot where Ugin died, aided by the Jeskai Khan Narset at the cost of her life, Sarkhan found what he did not even know he was seeking, a way to travel back through time to the moment of Ugin's death at Nicol Bolas' hand and prevent the spirit dragon from falling. Instantly pulled back to the present, Sarkhan found himself in a world ruled by mighty dragon lords, a world in which both Ugin and Narset were still alive. The Tarkir of Sarkhan's birth, the world that seemed to him bereft of dragons, is gone. In its place is a vibrant world where dragons fill the skies. Sarkhan himself is now utterly unique, free in ways that few people are. A man who is never born, a planeswalker without a homeworld, a human who can take the form of a dragon. Most importantly, his mind is once again his own, free of the influences of both Bolas and Ugin. There is more at stake on Tarkir than the fate of Sarkhan and the clans. Elsewhere, the world-devouring entities known as the Eldrazi have arisen to feed on the planes of the multiverse, and the key to stopping them may lie on Tarkir. The vampire planeswalker Sorin Markov was one of the three planeswalkers who trapped the Eldrazi on the plane of Zendikar thousands of years ago, the other two being the Lithomancer and Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Now that the Eldrazi have awakened once more, Sorin is on a mission to reunite with these planeswalkers. But the Lithomancer's whereabouts are unknown, and Sorin has not encountered Ugin for over 1,000 years. In an attempt to track Ugin down, Sorin has traveled to Tarkir, where the Spirit Dragon formed an important part of the planar ecosystem. In one version of history, Sorin found Ugin's bones in an icy chasm on Tarkir, but in the altered timeline created by Sarkhan Vol, Ugin is alive, encased in a protective cocoon for many centuries. Sorin's quest to find Ugin ends in success, and the two agree to combat the Eldrazi menace together on Zendikar. There is no virtue in subtlety, at least not as far as Chandra Nalaar is concerned. She's a confident, ardent, defiant planeswalker whose specialty is pyromancy. Spells of fire, and more fire. Growing up as a magic user on a plane of inventors, she's used to being the black sheep. In fact, she grew to embrace and celebrate her independence from her renegade parents. But she and her parents were hunted by the local consuls for transgressions against their oppressive rule. Her parents were brutally punished, and Chandra herself sentenced to execution for crimes she didn't commit. Outraged, panicked, and grief-stricken, Chandra's spark ignited along with her pyromancy, and she bathed her punishers in flames before being transported to a new plane. There, she was welcomed into the plane's order of monks, pyromancers like herself, and she learned how to channel her impulses and control her gift. Now, Chandra travels the planes of the multiverse in pursuit of new adventures away from responsibilities. Recently, her thirst for adventure brought her to Zendikar, where she met other planeswalkers, the Mind Mage Jace Beleren and the Dragon Speaker Sarkhan Vol. But true to her mercurial desires and impulsive nature, Chandra is still searching for new big adventures. As her wild inner fire encounters world after world of rules and restrictions, the results are sure to be explosive. Brilliant, curious, and always in control, Jace Beleren is a master of mental magic, spells of illusion, deception, and mind reading. His powers allow him to manipulate enemy mages by countering their own magic or using their spells against them. An adept analyst, he has an optimized plan, and a backup plan, for every situation. Growing up as a magical prodigy on his home plane, Jace Beleren sought out the training of the mysterious Sphinx Alhamaret. Under the Sphinx's training, Jace learned to control his abilities. However, when Jace discovered that his master had been using him for political manipulations, he confronted him in a fierce mental battle. The battle badly damaged Jace's memories and caused him excruciating pain. This distress ignited his planeswalker spark, tearing him away from his home plane. Jace awoke in Ravnica, his memories shattered and his former identity forgotten. Jace's absence of memory now fuels his insatiable appetite for knowledge and truth. His need to uncover and understand the unknown has led him to Zendikar and back to Ravnica, where he solved his greatest puzzle yet, the implicit maze. His achievement earned him the title of Ravnica's Living Guild Pact, where he serves as a magically empowered arbiter between the city's many guilds. Although his title binds him to Ravnica, Jace can't help but wonder about what mysteries beckon. There are many unanswered questions in the multiverse, but those are Jace's favorite kind. Driven, devoted, and deeply connected to the land, Nissa wields elemental magic. She's able to channel the mana ley lines of a plane and to bring the land to life. Her compassion and fierce determination to defend her embattled home of Zendikar drive her to seek aid from other planes across the multiverse. Shunned by her native elven village for her fearful visions and druidic powers, Nissa left to follow the voice of the land itself, Zendikar, which was asking for her help to cleanse the dangers that slept within it. Zendikar sent its elemental embodiment to teach Nissa to connect with the land and channel its power. Armed with these new abilities, she attempted to commune with the dangers within Zendikar, the Eldrazi Titans. Their immense power bent her mind, and in that moment of danger, she made her first planeswalk to safety. Haunted by the memory of the Eldrazi's power, she still traverses the planes of the multiverse in search of answers to save her beloved plane. Though her path has been long and difficult, Nissa has returned to Zendikar to wage what seems like an unending battle against the Eldrazi and their spawn, who threaten to devour the plane. She's learned from her past and commands even greater power. She will fight to the end. Centuries ago, Ob Nixilis was a ruthless human tyrant on a hellish plane of unending war. No tactics were too merciless and no magic too dark to secure his ascendancy. By the time he was 40 years old, he had dominated the entire world. With nothing more to conquer, he was left without purpose. Until his planeswalker spark ignited. Infinite worlds opened to him, undreamed of vistas just waiting to bow before the vast new power he had unlocked. Soon, however, he learned that there were others like him, other planeswalkers whose power and ambition equaled his own. To best these new rivals, Ob Nixilis would do what he had always done, betray any trust, commit any blasphemy, and pay any price for power. He thought himself invincible, but then he suffered a cruel defeat. He sought to seize the power of the legendary Chain Veil for himself, but instead suffered its curse, which stripped him of his humanity, transforming him into a monstrous demon. At last he found a price he was not willing to pay. In search of a cure for this curse, he made his way to Zendikar, a world of powerful but unpredictable mana. Before he could begin to draw on this power, however, he was met by Zendikar's self-appointed protector, the planeswalker Nahiri, the Lithomancer. As the creator of the Hedrons that covered the plane and kept the Eldrazi in stasis, Nahiri kept watch over Zendikar to make sure no planeswalkers meddling would awaken the Titans. Nahiri bound Ob Nixilis with the same magic, placing a Hedron on his skull and suppressing his planeswalker's spark. Trapped on Zendikar powerless, Ob Nixilis became obsessed with recovering his spark and escaping his imprisonment. He schemed and scraped to acquire the relics he needed to unlock the merest fraction of the power he once wielded, nursing a fury towards Zendikar that grew over the course of centuries. Eventually, Nixilis began channeling dark magic even other demons feared. After years of plotting, he was finally able to remove the Hedron that bound him to the plane. Now Ob Nixilis is unshackled, and he's directing his energies towards his next goal, rekindling his spark. Like I said earlier, Soloers, there's a lot more that I cut out and even more information to find. Who's your favorite planeswalker? What about your favorite deck color or colors? Go ahead and leave your answers in the comments, or at TMSP_P1 on Twitter. Next week I'll be showing you the final campaign duel and giving a synopsis of the storyline of Battle for Zendikar and the lead up to the Oath of the Gatewatch expansion that comes out early next year. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll solo you later.